Today is April 1st, 2025, but don't worry, this is not an April Fool's video. We are, in fact, going to touch all 9 enemy ships in this battle, which is probably a new record for me. And of course, we can prove that we've touched all enemy ships by counting the number of fists and sinking ribbons that we have in the end. Spoiler alert, it's going to add up to 9, and of course there are 9 ships on the enemy team, so we are going to deal damage to literally every single one of them. This, I think, exemplifies the tagline of World of Warships Legends, namely turning the tide. And that's what we're going to do in the Vampire 2, the reward for the ongoing March 2025 campaign, which will soon come to an end. But by now, I think most people who are going to complete the campaign probably have already done so. Maybe there are some finishing up. But the Vampire 2 should enjoy a wide proliferation across the community now. And many people say it's not a good destroyer. That I disagree with. It is a good destroyer. It has excellent main battery firepower, which ultimately is what you need to counter enemy destroyers. And being able to do that efficiently in a gunboat is, I think, a mark in its favor, a pretty significant one. It means that you can have quite a bit of battle impact, and we certainly are in this match. Now, if you look at the minimap, you'll probably think, as I did when I was playing the game, that we're off to a pretty poor start here. We've got one friendly destroyer on the other side of the map inside of the Alpha Cap, which is turning red, or maybe he's not quite inside it yet, hard to tell. But he's flanked by 2 battleships, or rather 2 battleships are behind him, and not only are they behind him, but they're behind islands. So if he pushes out a little bit further and gets spotted, then all the enemy ships in that alpha area are going to shoot at him, and it's unlikely his 2 teammates are going to be able to assist, given there are islands between their guns and whatever enemies might be out south of the Alpha Cap. Meanwhile, the entire rest of the friendly team has pushed behind me. We've got 3 battleships and 1 cruiser. There's also a destroyer there, but unfortunately, he is AFK, and he's going to remain AFK for the entirety of the match. So effectively, what we have here is an 8v9 in favor of the Reds. And also, the cap, the Charlie cap that we're in right now, has been contested. I don't think it's the Michelangelo that smoked up moments ago, and I'm proven correct in that because somebody spots the Vampire 2. Probably with radar. I'm not exactly sure how. It must be a radar cruiser behind me. Anyway, enemy Vampire 2 is taking some punishment. We're going to chime in here with the AP guns, get briefly spotted by his sonar, but of course he's going to go down. We don't secure the kill, but we do get one of many, many fisting ribbons in this match. And now the cap is clear, so we'll be able to take it, which of course is a good thing. The enemy has secured Bravo completely uncontested because everybody who spawned at Bravo is over here with me. And well, at least the Alpha Cap is being contested by the friendly DD. But the 2 battleships are going to be pushing into the cap behind him, which I think is going to spell trouble for that side of the map. Meanwhile, we've got enemy Borgonia out here and also that Michelangelo, but of course we've deployed one of our crawling smoke screens, and so we were the only ones spotting. The interesting thing about these crawling smokes, and by the way, I think I prefer the daring smokes much better. They're much more versatile. But the nice thing about the crawling smokes is that they will follow you if you're going at a quarter throttle. But if you go faster than that, you can outrun the smoke screen and still have it dragging behind you. So that way you can slow down and re-enter the smoke screen when necessary. We're going to send some torpedoes at the Michelangelo. All we're really trying to do right now is get spotting on the Borgonia and the cruiser there so that our teammates can shoot at them. And it's really crucial that we clear these guys out of this part of the map and push forward because, well, one of the battleships on the other side of the map has gone down. I think the other battleship and the destroyer over there in the Alpha Cap are probably not far behind. It looks like they've got 4 ships to deal with over there. Maybe 5, because there's probably an unspotted destroyer who's just revealed on the minimap. And that's a 5v2. over on that side of the map, similar to what we've got going on over here. So it's likely the 5v2 is going to win out in favor for the enemy near Alpha, which means we need to win out here in Charlie, or things are going to go south really, really quickly. Generally speaking, you don't want to put all of your ships on one side of the map like this, and you probably don't want to push into the enemy spawn. But if you're going to, then you better commit to it. The Borgonia goes down. We get our second fist. Thankfully, the criteria for that is we just have to deal damage to the ship about 30 seconds before it sinks. So 2 fists, 2 ships down on the red team. We had a hand in sinking both, even if it was perhaps a bit of a minor hand. We're only up to about 50,000 damage now. There's our third fist with some damage on the Michelangelo. And this flank is cleared out, which leaves us, theoretically, a clear path to Bravo. But the twist and track indicator is pointing sort of past the Borgonia over there, and we can see the Borgonia is taking shots from something behind the smoke screen, something that appears to have 6 guns. An enemy destroyer, perhaps? Yes. It's been radared by the friendly cruiser, and it is the always terrifying and lethal Shimakaze. He is a bit far away. These guns are floaty. A little bit difficult to dial in the aim and land all the shells, but we hit at least one because there's 4 fists. We're only 1 fist away from getting the most coveted medal in the game, the Helping Hand. And soon we will be getting it for the helping hand that we have provided our team. Anyway, 4 ships sunk, 4 fisting ribbons. That means we had a hand in sinking all 4, and that trend is going to continue. The Alpha Cap is turning red. I don't think the friendly team is going to be able to take it. The destroyer over there has been dispatched, and there's 1 solitary battleship left who I expect is going to go down quite soon. Meanwhile, the other friendly destroyer surviving on our team is still sitting comfortably in spawn, not participating in the match, so he's going to be a non-factor. And there, the battleship goes down on that side of the map. However, we are ahead on kills versus the enemy team, so we've got a little bit of an advantage here, but the enemy holds 2 caps, and of course we cannot allow that to stand. They will eventually overtake us on points. In fact, they will right now. We've got to get into the cap and contest it so that they stop accruing points, and then ultimately flip it so that we can accrue points at a quicker rate. We enter the cap. Nobody's inside of it with us, but there is 1 enemy destroyer left to be concerned about. Now we're going to push out a little bit and try to get some vision on the enemy. The fact that all 4 of my ships are over here between the Bravo and the Charlie cap is perhaps not good. They're all essentially within 2 grid squares, and that means the enemies in the enemy spawn area are going to be able to shoot, and anybody who's pushed into our spawn area on the opposite side of the Charlie Bravo caps, well, potentially they could catch all of my remaining teammates in a crossfire. That Yamato's position is pretty close to being quite dangerous. We get spotted, means the enemy destroyer is within vision of us, but he's not quite in the cap circle yet. We know exactly where he is, thanks to the RPF indicator, and we're going to deploy our smoke screen and sonar. If he chooses to push in, we'll spot him with the sonar, and we'll have any advanced warning of torpedoes. Speaking of, we've got torpedoes going at the broadside of, I think, a GK over there, and it looks like at least 1 is going to hit. 1 should be all we need. There is the... Well, I thought that was going to be a kill, but it turns out it's a fist. There's our helping hand. Meanwhile, we've got Yamato pushing in. He hasn't quite entered the cap yet, or actually, maybe he has. No, I can't quite tell. No, he hasn't. He has not entered the cap, but it is red, which means that, or it's contested rather, which means that the destroyer is inside of it with us, and we can see exactly where that destroyer is, shooting his guns and using our smoke screen actually to conceal himself from our teammates. A little bit annoying, but we still got 30-some seconds on the smoke screen, so not much we can do about it now. We'll just farm the Yamato, get behind this rock here a little bit. We've got some fires burning on the Yamato, and this is, well, I would say an ill-advised move on the part of the enemy battleship. Generally speaking, you don't want to push your Yamato face first into a Vampire 2 and like two battleships and a cruiser. There goes the Yamato, 6 fist. And here's the Vampire 2. We're spotting each other with our sonars, and for some reason he decides, or actually, I'm not spotting him with the sonar, he's spotted by my teammates. He goes down as our first kill of the game. That means we've touched 7 out of the 9 enemy ships, and there's still 2 left. One of which is HMS Defense, the other of which is a battleship over there on the other side of the map. And you might be thinking we have a distinct advantage because we essentially outnumber them 2 to 1. There are 4 ships participating in the battle on the blue team. The enemy or the friendly destroyer in our spawn, AFK, of course, doesn't count. So technically, we outnumber this Conqueror and this Defense 2 to 1. But do you really think that matters? I don't think so. There goes the Stalingrad, whose radaring has been instrumental to the success of the blue team in this battle. So GG to the Stalingrad. May you rest in peace on your trip back to port. Thankfully, though, we have secured both the Charlie and Bravo caps, so we've got the win conditions all set up. If the rest of my teammates go down, that should be okay. We will be able to accrue points at a faster rate than the enemy team. All we really need to do is we need to defend this Bravo cap from the encroachment of the defense, who does appear to be pushing in. We assume that he's going to turn when he gets past that island and enter the cap right there. So we send some torpedoes in that direction. We know we won't be spotted if we take shots because Conqueror is outside of our main battery gun range. So we take an opportunity to deal a little bit of damage to the defense, essentially being greedy for more fisting ribbons. I was aware at the time of playing this that I had the distinct opportunity to touch literally all 9 of the enemy ships, and I was going for that. We have touched the defense, of course, but our torpedoes are going to miss. And we've got 1 smoke screen left, which we are going to use now as the defense himself smokes up. He's taking punishment from our remaining battleship teammate, who is the only assistance we have now, because of course that friendly destroyer, as I've said many times now, is still AFK and is going to remain so. Got to dial in the aim on the HE into the defense's superstructure. A little bit difficult, and he probably thinks he's safe in the smoke, but perhaps he's not accounting for his terrible smoke firing penalty, because he's going to shoot again. And, well, that's going to spell his demise. Maybe he doesn't have any heals left, so he figures he's got no other choice. We've damaged him, of course, but it's the friendly battleship who gets the kill. That's 7 fists. A new personal record for me, although I have seen some screenshots that show people have gotten 8 fists before. I've never seen 9 fists, but someday I hope that I will be able to achieve that incredible feat. In any case, I don't think there's any way we lose this battle. The only red ship left alive is the Conqueror, and there are less than 2 minutes left. Conqueror is fairly healthy, and he's squaring off against our last remaining battleship, whose identity I'm not quite sure of. But, well, it's a Colombo, there we go, and the Conqueror takes the Colombo down. We're on the tail end of our last smoke screen. We're going to use it to deal some DPM to the Conqueror with the guns, but also we're going to launch some torpedoes. He's clearly about to begin a turn, and so we account for that with our torpedo aiming there. Hopefully, that will be enough to get the Conqueror. We've got a fire burning on him, and so that is going to shave off some of his HP. Hopefully enough that by the time these torpedoes reach him, they will be able to take him out. But of course, we are going to win this game regardless of what happens. There's quite literally nothing the Conqueror can do unless we gift ourselves to him on a silver platter. So we do take a little bit of risk. We know that if we don't sink the Conqueror, this match is going to end 1 ribbon short of ultimate glory. What we need is a second kill ribbon, so that we've got 2 of those and 7 fists. Again, 7 plus 2 equals 9. And that means we will have touched and influenced the battle by touching all 9 enemy ships. The torpedoes are drawing close to the Conqueror. Will they hit? Yes, 1 on the tail, and that is all we need. His DCP is on cooldown, and so the flooding takes him out for our second kill of the game, and 9 ribbons to show that we turned the tide in this battle with the Vampire 2. I don't know if I've actually ever damaged all 9 enemy ships on a team before, because there was a long time in this game without these wonderful fisting ribbons, so it was difficult to tell. But here is proof that one ship can in fact damage all 9 of the enemies and can be victorious for it. It's a good thing we won that battle. Didn't think we were going to, but I hope you enjoyed this presentation for today. If so, give the video a thumbs up, consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.